but you know, these kids, you know, you want to, you know, Houdini, you know what you do. You know what you do out there now. Come on now. So the idea is, how do we do it when we have the eyes of the law looking at us and everything, you know, that we really want to help, but we have to figure out new ways today because people today go to work today. They go to work on Sunday, you know, and I have to explain to a lot of the reverends in the churches that a lot of times a person leaving service isn't that they're leaving because they don't like the service. Just they got to be to work at 11:35. You know, they got to get to going. You understand? So the whole thing, the whole game has changed so much. So we have to figure out ways to be able to help and everything. What about psychologically? You know, I know that I couldn't imagine being adopted or in the foster care myself because my mother and father, especially my mom, spent so much time helping me to steer me towards the sun. Yeah, I needed that extra help. You know, I wasn't a problem child, but I needed to know. You know, I remember when I was a little boy, I thought Mama was God. I even come in there one day and asked her. I said, "Mama, are you Christ?" She said, "Cook so much and do so much. I thought she was God." So I wouldn't, you know. And I mean, that's something to look on. I think back and just to look at her eyes when I asked her that I had so much, little boy had so much high hopes, you know what I mean? So how do we today, you know, with the kids that go through so much, you know, how do we land them psychologically? What is the answer?
Well, Catholic Charities, we provide them with master's level clinician. We do in-home counseling with them.
Okay.
The clinicians can even go out twice a week. If there's a child that needs more than once a week, clinicians can go out twice a week.
Is a clinician, is that like a psychiatrist or psychologist, or what is it?
They're therapists.
Okay.
They don't work on the medication monitoring side of it. Some of the kids are on medications for depression or ADD, ADHD. Wow. So we do have a psychiatrist that does medication monitoring with the kids.
Okay.
The clinicians are therapists, in-home therapists that are coming and doing counseling
and working with the kids. Oh, okay. Wow.
We also provide with a 24-hour, 7 days a week emergency support line. If anything happens, then maybe the foster parent has a question, emergency, they need to vent, anything concerning the child or anything, they can always call this line, and a clinician or a supervisor will answer the phone. They rotate on a weekly basis, so they're on call 24 hours, 7 days a week.
Wow.
So it basically, we don't want the foster parents to feel alone. They're not alone. They're helping us support the child with love and a home. We want to support them.
Sure. I think the hardest part, and when I talk to people, would be actually getting the babies and then letting go. You know, that's a hard. I think that would be a hard.
It's hard.
Thing.
I always, even in recruiting, remind families that you really are helping a lot of. Think of how many children you could actually help.
Yeah.
You know, not that you want to have a revolving door and see kids coming in and out, but we have families who have helped, 20 kids. I mean, they've made a difference in the life of 20 children. That's a lot of kids.
That's a beautiful. Is there a house around like the Mother Hell house? If you remember Mother Hell up in Harlem, is there a house around here like that, or where you drop the kids off or whatever? And I mean, Mother Hell had this house where the kids would come and they would actually live there. People just drop babies off and everything. Is it?
Not to my knowledge. Kind of sounds like an unofficial foster home.
No, well, it actually been at first. I imagine I imagine it was with Mother Hell, but then it became a legitimate thing. I think that it had got where she would just take care of people's babies, and then of course she had to, turn it. I guess registered after a while.
Right.
She got so many babies.
I don't know that there's a home like that specifically. I know that in the state we have what we call a Safe Haven Act.
Okay.
And you can drop a child off at a hospital.
And no questions
asked. A police station, to my knowledge, yes. we definitely have information on it at the agency. I'm not 100%
So
familiar with it.
yeah, I heard of that someone can just take a baby to a hospital and just drop it and just no questions.
And safely leave the child so that they can be placed in foster care.
And no questions. I don't think I could be that doctor. I don't know
Me
about that. I think I would probably get fired at first because I'm going to have to follow you, put the camera, I'm going to put the camera on you and everything, you know, find out who you are. Well, in a case like that where there is no questions asked and then there's no paperwork for the kid, there's no way of knowing who the relatives is to the kid in a case like that. Y'all get babies like that, I imagine.
I don't know that very many of those children come into our program.
Okay.
Most of our infants are coming from the hospital in which parents or mothers have just given birth to those children.
Okay.
And have been removed from them for
whatever reason.
Drug or alcohol abuse, whatever reason it might be. Potentially, I guess we could have a child come into the program with that happening. The child would really be coming to us from DIFUS. So on their end, they're probably they may not have paperwork as far as the name of parents and things like that, but they would more than likely, I would assume, take the child at least to a hospital or a pediatrician and do a medical check and make sure that everything is all right with that child prior to placing them into foster care.
Okay. Well, let me ask you, how you like your work?
I enjoy it a lot.
Okay.
Yes. I think it's a blessing to be part of this.
Okay.
You know, I think of the long run as to I'm helping children
find
homes,
yes,
and that's what keeps me going. That's what keeps me spreading the word. Even if I know it's my job, but even after hours,
sure.
I talk to people that I meet. And what do you do? Well, I recruit for foster care. Do you know anything about it? You're interested, and it's a blessing. Definitely is.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to say before we about ready to wrap it up?
I mean, it's really just great to see the kids, and so many of the children in our program and hopefully in other programs also are just really so well cared for, and they know that they have people in their lives who love them and who are caring for them and are there for them, and that's what a lot of these kids don't have.
In a case like this right here, do you guys not so much seek, but is there a psychological things that y'all have to go through? Do people, I mean, you know, that you got, I mean, the idea of recruiting and things, I mean, it can be draining on one's head?
Sometimes, you know, we run into a lot of really, really great people.
Sure.
And, you know, unfortunately we do get some calls sometimes that maybe those people aren't appropriate for necessarily our program.
Sure.
Our kids, especially our school-age children, are challenging.
Sure.
So there's families that have younger kids that we may say, right now is not the time for you, but think about us in the future, or contact DIFUS.
Okay, we got one more minute, and introduce both of yourselves. You can go first. Go ahead.
I'm again Jennifer Krell with Catholic Charities, and I'm a recruiter.
Give a number.
And we can be reached at 1-866-247-HOME.
Okay,
HOME.
go ahead.
My name is Cynthia Anna Maria, and again, a recruiter for Catholic Charities. That's 1-866-HOME.
Okay, Melissa, can you go to that commercial and try to play? All right.
There's never any place long enough to join the Little League or to have a best friend. Everything I had fit in two
That is
garbage
beautiful.
bags, which I would pack up whenever they told me to. And then 2 years ago, I came to Catholic Charities. They introduced me to my new resource family. Now I don't have to worry about moving. I have a best friend, and more importantly, I have a home. A lot of kids aren't so lucky.
There are more than 11,000 kids in New Jersey who have nowhere to go. Some of them are kids like Justin who just want to be safe. Some of them are babies. A lot of them have been hurt or neglected. All of them need your help. Anyone can be a resource family. All you need is a room in your house and a room in your heart. Resource families are so important because children grow best in families. Please help us.
Can I have this here?
Yeah.
Become a resource family. Call 866-247-HOME. That's 866-247-HOME. A child will thank you. Therapeutic Foster Care is a division of Catholic Charities, Diocese of Metuchen.
Okay, we're finished.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
very
Wow.
much. That was awesome.
15 to 15